Hi guys, back with you, Between Two Worlds with Deb. It's been quite a long time since I have talked to you guys and done a video. A lot has happened. I sold my house, built another house, praise God. I want to thank the Lord today for His day, the Resurrection Day, Easter Sunday. I want to thank the Lord for dying for our sins. I want to thank the Lord for getting us to this point as Christians. The title of my video today is Donald Trump Won't Win, or Will He? Everything in this video is my own personal opinion and research that I have done that you will see. And I've missed you guys. I'm so glad to be back. And I thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. And have a wonderful day. So the odds are stacked against Donald Trump. And just for the very beginning, these are my opinions, okay? And I have to have my opinions because this is YouTube. But the odds are stacked against Donald Trump. And here's just the beginning of it as far as the 2020 election goes.
As we told you, Li Mengyang was one of the first people to tell the truth in the United States at great personal cost. She was there. She joins us now. Doctor, thank you so much for coming on. You said 3 years ago that you believe that this virus was intentionally released by the government you once worked for, the government of China. Today, we're hearing in this leak to the Wall Street Journal that it was accidental. Do you believe this leak was accidental or intentional?
Hi, Tucker. Thank you for having me again. First, I really want to appreciate you and also Fox News have been taking so much efforts pursuing the truth of COVID origin. Without your help, there won't be such milestone achievement. And I want to tell, of course, it was not an accident. And maybe for people who don't have this kind of biosafety lab 3 or 4 experience.
Here, it was not an accident. Huh. Interesting.
Experience on coronavirus, maybe it's easy for them to accept the accident and lab leak. However, I'm the scientist working in such lab using coronavirus, and I can tell you, based on the protocol and also the other surveillance system, it will be impossible for the lab leak accidentally happen in such lab and cause the Wuhan outbreak and also the pandemic. So definitely now we just reached.
I mean, look at the suits that these guys wear. I mean, how could there be a leak?
To the first step, it was from China's lab, and we need to pursue the truth of origin, and we need to keep going on.
We know the Chinese government allowed its infected citizens to travel in huge groups to Western Europe in the early days of the pandemic. That was intentional. But you believe the whole thing, they came up with this virus and they unleashed it on the world to destroy the Western economies and to elevate their own position globally.
And to keep Donald Trump from being elected so they could use mail-in votes, I believe.
I want to emphasize one thing is, I would say based on the evidence and the source I have, that the lab, virus was intentionally brought out of this strict lab and released in the community. However, I don't think the outbreak in Wuhan was intentional. I would say it was because CCP government and the military scientists underestimate the transmissibility. That's why finally it got out of control and caused the local outbreak. However, we should know that CCP government intentionally to let it go all over the world to kill millions of people all over the world later.
Wow.
We just have to hope and pray that you will be interviewed by many other journalists in this country over the coming weeks. Now that this has been confirmed,
wow.
You're an eyewitness to it. You have I think, a credible story to tell.
That's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so we've got the COVID-19. But, you know, more importantly, it's not just a Fauci and it's not just some of the other ones that are against us. It's everywhere, including, look, there's a story about Governor Gretchen Whitmer that was kidnapped, and we're going to talk about that. So, I mean, it's not just the Biden administration or the current government that's against us. There's others too. There's the deep state. And then Here's the Gretchen Whitmer.
He's the accused ringleader of the plot against Governor Whitmer, but in new court documents, his defense team says it wasn't his idea at all. Adam Fox says he was set up.
He says it was the FBI's paid informants hatching the plot to kidnap and possibly harm Governor Whitmer. Local 4 defender Sean Lay obtained the documents in which Fox says those ideas were planted in his head and the heads of others. Sean.
And Karen, good evening. Let's get right to it. These are explosive documents. And look, the law is clear here. An undercover informant can only observe and report, not come up with ideas and encourage others to commit crimes. But check this out. Adam Fox says that's exactly what's happened here. The Local 4 defenders first told you the men charged in the plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer say the men who trained them the entire time were undercover FBI agents. Now, a new court filing obtained by the defenders, filed by so-called ringleader Adam Fox, says paid FBI informants were also the ones to come up with the plan to kidnap the governor and attack her summer home. Not only that, Adam Fox says the informants were predatory in how they infiltrated their group and constantly contacted them and encouraged them to launch a violent attack. Informants coming up with plans and encouraging plans is illegal. Fox is arguing the feds
And they were saying that these guys are right-wingers.
trapped him, especially by a paid informant known as Big Dan. When Fox said he really didn't know what to do, he says Big Dan told him to open fire on the governor's summer home to send a message. Blank place up north, send a blank through the window. Fox is fighting for the informant's text messages and laptops that federal prosecutors so far will not give up. Fox says they'll see that the FBI and informants led the entire way with ideas, with training, and constant encouragement. So far, prosecutors have not responded to Adam Fox's request or have been ordered to give up what could be explosive information. Back here live. Another thing jumps right out at you in this new court filing, and that's Fox's allegation that one of the undercover informants told him to go with this plan to other groups in other states to attack other governors. We called Fox's attorney. We called the U.S. attorney in the Western District. They have not called us back tonight. We're live tonight. Sean Lane, Local 4 News, Defenders.
Some interesting developments there. All right. Thank you, Sean.
Here's another one, some election fraud in Georgia that we need to talk about. So there's election issues, there's COVID-19, there's the FBI and CIA and DOJ involved in all this stuff too. Not just this, but other stuff. So let's see what this lady has to say about Fulton County, Georgia.
President Trump's team is pointing to newly released surveillance video from State Farm Arena as evidence of election fraud. Our chief investigator, Brendan Keefe, joins us. Brendan, another important opportunity here to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we first saw the video in yesterday's state Senate hearing, but state investigators confirm they've had this video for weeks and determined that Fulton was legally counting ballots. But there is more to the story.
Yeah, I saw 4 suitcases.
See what you guys think.
Cases come out from underneath the table.
Supporters of the president are calling it Suitcase Gate.
We call it a suitcase.
But those are not suitcases. 11 Alive has confirmed they're the standard ballot containers used by Fulton County.
The video shows is that they have pulled out plastic bins from underneath the desks. Those are bins that they keep under their desks near the scanners.
They've investigated.
Why would they need to keep them under the desk ballots? What would be the purpose for that?
This repeatedly, that they had a monitor on site the entire time. And frankly, this has been debunked for weeks by our Secretary of State's office.
I doubt he's seen the video.
Evidence?
Your officials need to watch the video.
They did. The video is not new. State investigators reviewed the State Farm surveillance tapes weeks ago. Gabriel Sterling with the Secretary of State's office tweeted the 90-second video of election workers purporting to show fraud was watched in its entirety by Georgia Secretary of State investigators, shows normal ballot processing.
That the press reported there was, like, I suppose.
So normal ballot processing would be pulling ballots out from underneath the table? I don't know. That doesn't sound too normal to me.
water break or water main break or pipe break or whatever, and that this was an excuse for people clearing out of State Farm Arena.
A water main break? Do you see any water? Do you see anything waterlogged? Do you see any roof collapse or anything like that? Yeah.
The water pipe leak and the events on the surveillance video did not happen on the same night. Those two events occurred 17 hours apart. How do we know? We were there.
Early this morning, we told there was a water main break above the room I'm standing in here at State Farm Arena.
That live report was hours before the surveillance video of the room clearing. The workers leaving were those who opened the ballot envelopes, and once they were done processing that batch, they went home.
At about 10 o'clock, there was one person working the polls who told everyone in the room to leave.
They began letting certain people go. No announcement was ever made to leave, for anyone to leave.
Was anyone actually told to leave, or just that they were done counting? Republican monitors claim they were forced out.
They were made to leave, so it was done in contravention of the statute.
Both 11 Alive journalists on.
So if they tell you that they're done counting votes, wouldn't you want to go home for the evening because it's late and it's dark? And then they told others to leave, and then all of a sudden this comes out from underneath the desk. Sounds a little shady to me.
Site that night independently confirmed to me that they were not told to leave, but they were told counting was done for the night.
Fulton County, they were telling us that their absentee ballot vote counting, their workers went home from that this evening. They'll be back around 8:30 in the morning.
And why are they only counting them whenever the place is cleared out with no witnesses?
This part is true. The press and the party monitors were not given notice that counting would continue into the early morning hours, and they should have been. The Secretary of State says one of its monitors was present. The counting of those heavily Democratic absentee ballots did result in a big batch of numbers coming in from Fulton County in the 1 a.m. hour on election night.
And Brendan, we just got a big dump of numbers for DeKalb and Fulton.
I remember that distinctly, and that spike in numbers has led Trump supporters to conclude that Joe Biden took the lead because of it. That is not true. Biden was already leading Fulton
Remember, this is a mainstream media report.
County significantly before those absentee ballots were counted, and he did not take the lead in Georgia until 3 days later.
Can you give us any sense of how President Biden is taking all of this in just as a moment in American history? Obviously, he's a consumer of news. Has he been watching, reading the developments that are unfolding right now?
So first, I have to say this it's an ongoing case, so we're just not going to comment on the case specifically itself. Look, the president is going to focus on the American people like he does every day. He is not, this is not something that is a focus for him. He is going to focus on things like making sure that we continue to lower prices for the.
They are doing everything they can. And we can't forget about the impeachment trials and all of the stuff. They hate this man, but more importantly, they don't want, and he'll tell you, they don't want him. They want us. They're after us. MAGA supporters. That's why they put us down as much as possible. That's why they do whatever they can to discredit everything that we say and do. But folks, everyone knows all of this that I'm saying now. Everyone already knows this. And how can Donald Trump win? Well, this is how, right here. And whatever things you ask for in prayer, believing that you will receive. So we have to believe that Donald Trump will win again. And listen, guys, how long are we going to sit back and just let them take our elections? How long are we going to sit back and do nothing? We have to do, look what I'm doing. I don't want to do this. I am doing this because this is what my maker asked me to do. Like I said in my first video, I don't want to do these things, but however, we have to speak out. We have to do something. Then there's praying always with all prayer and supplication in spirit, being watchful to this end with all perseverance and supplications for all the saints. We are his remnant church. We are the leftovers. We are the most blessed of all that have ever lived on the face of this earth, because we will see the end come. And you can see it coming hard and fast, but the only thing that we can do is believe in our God, believe in our maker. And listen, there's a story of the virgins, 5 had oil, 5 did not. The ones with the oil went in and with the to the bridegroom. And the other 5. So we have to be mindful. We have to be watching, and we have to be vigilant, and we have to love our God with all our heart, mind, and spirit. And then do not fear revelations. Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you in prison, which that could even be me, that you may be tested and that you may have tribulation 10 days. I'm not sure what the 10 days is about. Be faithful until death, and I will give you the crown of life. So, guys, this is just a holding place for us right now. This is a proving ground. This is where we have to prove that we're worthy to go to heaven right here and now. This earth right now, people ask why God let so many things happen. Well, guess what? First off, we've all turned away from him. The United States has all turned away. They took him out of schools. You know the stories on that. But more importantly, this is Satan's world. So God is letting things happen in Satan's world. But for us, he's hovering over us and he's covering us with his pinions so that nothing will happen to us. And listen, guys, we have to keep on praying. We have to believe we will get the crown of life. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please share. Please subscribe. And please continue watching my videos. We've got to do something. And the word, our word, as long as we have freedom of speech, we have to do something. Have a wonderful day. And thank you.